Well, g'day everyone. Here we are at the beautiful Botanic Gardens in Sydney. We've just wrapped up Networking in Nature here on the 1st of August on what was going to be a bit of a drizzly morning, but in the end it held out. It was a pretty good morning in the end, and we were joined by Tim Hewson from Mongrels Men, and he came down as the guest presenter today and cracked open conversations really about men's health, but more than that, about community health and building great connections between people. And Tim, thank you so much firstly for coming down.
Pleasure.
And for the benefit of those who weren't here, because it was a really important conversation that you cracked open today, do you want to just recap firstly, like, what brought you into Mongrels Men? Like, what made you hone in on this issue that's obviously now led to create such an amazing community?
Yeah, so probably my own personal journey as a starting point with mental health, having lived for nearly 20 years before I got some professional help with anxiety, having panic attacks, and what eventually evolved into depression. But throughout that, I learnt the power of community, conversation, connection and movement, and what impact that can have in terms of me not just identifying, but probably more so better managing my own mental health. I also had some pretty powerful moments where I had people come up to me to thank me for the work that I was doing for something as simple as managing a bloke's middle-aged football team, and the impact that that had on literally saving their life. You know, guys that were considering taking their own life for nearly 9 months. That plus my own experience and me increasingly being surrounded by family, friends and colleagues that were having and experiencing tough times forced me to look at some stats, and I realised that something needed to be done, that I was organising events and opportunities for men, and that formed a good kind of community base for starting the charity nearly 3 years ago now.
It's such a tough one. Like, I feel as though mental health it's quite a prominent conversation now. It's been elevated, which is amazing.
It's great.
Despite all that, as you say, like, the stats are still pretty sobering, particularly when it comes to outcomes for men. You mentioned a pivotal point in your journey, in the Mongrels Men journey, when a neighbour of yours at the time, let's call him Trent, he became quite a legend this morning in our conversations, but Trent actually was proactive, came to you, recognised that that maybe things weren't going so well with you, and wanted to get you outdoors and just start with something as simple as a walk. Like, do you want to just reflect on that and what that exchange meant? But also, I think surprisingly, like, there was something on Trent's end as well that he was looking for that maybe you didn't recognise as well.
Yeah, let's call him Trent. But Trent reached out to me when I was going through separation, and he got me out for a beach walk. Now, let's get out of the house, get moving, get some fresh air. That was a pretty simple idea, and it worked. You know, we got together, felt pretty good, and those walks turned into regular weekly walks and then runs, and we would walk and run side by side. And as we did that, I felt more and more comfortable while I wasn't eyeballing him, shoulder to shoulder, to open up. Not long after that, Trent surfaced some of his own challenges, and it became a very brave space for us to be able to share our stories and our challenges that we were experiencing at the time. A few other divorced dads joined the group, and it became that brave space for us to be able to kind of tackle some of the challenges that we were facing at the time. And that sense of comfort, bravery, safety, support from other blokes in a local community was kind of quite critical to us, knowing that what we were doing and creating was having an impact.
And then the final part that you put out, it was almost a challenge to the group, and I don't want anyone to miss out on it because it's such an important one. Just share, what is that challenge? Because I think that's something that for anyone watching this, like, it's just something so simple but can be so powerful, because often people are isolated in their suffering, and very often, we do our best to, on the outside, show that everything's perfect, even when sometimes they're not. So to your point, maybe you do need a little Trent to give you a tap on the shoulder from time to time. So.
Absolutely. I remember one afternoon very clearly. I was sitting on the couch scrolling through my phone trying to find somebody to reach out to, and realised I didn't have anybody. But it reinforced the impact of having someone like Trent to reach out to. So the challenge that I put out to everybody today was to scroll through their phones, find a family, friend or colleague that they want to reach out to, maybe haven't spoken to for a while, or might be in need of some support, and then to reach out to them by the end of the week. I'd love that to be a phone conversation, but if you need to, maybe a text, and even if you need to workshop that with somebody, make sure you do it by the end of the week.
So keep thinking about that. That's it. That's the last. Finish with, getting reminded. Okay, one of the best things about this morning's session was that Tim reminded us of the importance of hugging it out and what that meant. And as part of the session, all of a sudden we were all giving out hugs left, right and centre. And just now as people were leaving, we just couldn't stop hugging. Yeah. And it's such a profound thing to do. So
do you want to show them what it looks like?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is an instruction.
A little bit like this.
And should we do the Spanish hug, which we got told was the heart to heart?
Heart to heart. Let's do
left
that.
side.
Let's do that.
Yeah. Tim, thank you so much. And hope you keep joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and all the best for Mongrels Men.
Thank you. Thanks for having me along. It's a great day. Great morning.